Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and this video is on inversely proportional equations. So here we have our first problem, and it says x is inversely proportional to y. Find x in terms of y when x is equal to 3 and y is equal to 8. So the equation we need to use when it says inversely proportional is y is inversely proportional to x, which we can put into y is equal to k over x. Now k is an unknown and we can find it using the values they've given us. So here they've given us y is equal to 8, so we put 8 is equal to k over x, but they've given us that x is equal to 3. Now we want to find out what k is, so we need to times both sides by 3 in order to get k on its own. So when we times both sides by 3, we end up with 8 times by 3 is equal to k, and 8 times by 3 is 24, so k is equal to 24. But as you can see, it says find x in terms of y, so they want us to write it with x's and y's in the equation, not just k is equal to 24. So if we substitute that back into the equation we wrote up here, y is equal to k over x. So y is equal to our k, which is 24, over x, and that's x in terms of y using the values they've given us when it's inversely proportional. Now if we look at the second part of our question, it says find y when x is equal to 6. So if we copy out the equation we just made, y is equal to 24 over x. And they've given us x and they want us to find y. So y is equal to 24 divided by x, but our x is 6. And 24 divided by 6 is 4. So y is equal to 4. And that's simply all we need to do. Now if we look to the third part, it says find x when y is equal to 12. So if we use our original equation again, it says y is equal to 24 over x. And they've given us y, so they've given us 12 is equal to 24 divided by x. And we want to find out what x is. So the first thing we need to do is times both sides by x. So when we times both sides by x, we end up with 12x is equal to 24. But it just wants us to find out what 1x is, so we need to divide both sides by 12 to get x on its own. So when we divide both sides by 12, we end up with x is equal to 24 divided by 12. And now 24 divided by 12 is equal to 2, so x is equal to 2. And that's x found when y is equal to 12 using the formula we made in the first part of the question. Here we have our second question, and it says s is inversely proportional to t. Find s in terms of t when s is equal to 7 and t is equal to 4. Now we use the equation, the generic formula that we did on the previous page, which is y is inversely proportional to x. So y is equal to k over x. But this time they've changed the letters. They've said s is inversely proportional to t. So our y is t, so t is equal to k over x, but our x this time is s. Now if we substitute in the values they've given us that t is equal to 4, so we've got 4 is equal to k over s, but our s is equal to 7. So 4 is equal to k over 7. Now to get k on its own and find out what it is, we need to times both sides by 7. And when we times both sides by 7, we end up with 28 is equal to k. But just like before, they don't want just what k equals. We need to put it back in terms of s and t. So we said t is equal to k over s, and now we have what k is. So t is equal to k, which is 28, divided by s. So that's our formula we need to give them. Now if we look to the second part of our question, it says find t when s is equal to 12. So we need to use the formula that we just wrote. So t is equal to 28 over s. And it says find t, so we don't know what t is equal to 28 divided by s, but s is equal to 12. So t is equal to 28 over 12, which we can simplify more. So t is equal to 14 over 6, which again we can simplify. So t is equal to 7 over 3. So that's our answer to t when s is equal to 12. Now if we look to the third part of our question, it says find s when t is equal to 6. So again, if we use the formula we made, t is equal to 28 divided by s. And it says t is 6, so 6 is equal to 28 divided by s. Now the first thing we need to do is times both sides by s. And when we times both sides by s, we end up with 6s is equal to 28. But it just wants what 1s is. So to get s on its own, we need to divide both sides by 6. So we end up with s is equal to 28 divided by 6, which we can simplify, so s is equal to 14 over 3. Using the original equation we made, and when t is equal to 6, s is equal to 14 divided by 3. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please be sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below any topics you'd like me to cover. Also be sure to check out my social medias, which are all in the description box below.